Is hell something that God created and then told us about, or is it something that humans created and then projected onto God?
All right, let's see it.
The traditional conservative evangelical teaching on hell is that it was created by God, who then told us about it very clearly in the Bible. But does that line up with the data? I'll let you be the judge. For the concept of hell, there was a different concept that is the consistent teaching of the Hebrew Bible or the Christian Old Testament, the concept of Sheol. Sheol is just the Hebrew word for the underworld, where both the souls of the unrighteous and the righteous go, and there is no punishment. It's definitely not paradise either. You want to know more about that? This is the definitive book. But if that's the definitive concept in the Christian Old Testament, how did we get to hell? Between the 300s BCE and the 100s BCE, the people of Israel and the land that they lived on was fought over several times in several different wars, and they switched hands several different times. Just Google the Syrian Wars. It's in the context of this colonization and oppression that we begin to see the concept of Sheol evolve. For more on that, you can check out this book. The very first time we see this is in the book of 1st Enoch, specifically in the first section, which was written about this time. In this section of 1st Enoch, Enoch is getting a tour of the heavens and the underworld, and he goes to Sheol, and he sees that there's these different locations within Sheol for the righteous and the unrighteous, where the unrighteous are being punished. This is the very first time that we see an idea of the wicked being punished in the afterlife. And it occurs in 1st Enoch, which is not included in the Bible, except for by one church, but not by all the major ones. Over the next 200-ish years, the concept of Sheol would evolve in many different directions, all outside of the Bible. None of these books are included in the Bible, at least by most churches. The book of Judith, for example, goes the eternal conscious torment route. Other parts of 1st Enoch that were written around this time express annihilationism or temporary punishment followed by annihilationism. And all these concepts that don't come from the Bible were in circulation around the time of Jesus, and they were very well known. The book of 1st Enoch is the most copied book among the Dead Sea Scrolls, demonstrating its importance and popularity, which is what this guy says in this book. Interestingly enough, Jesus seems to teach all of these. And if you want to know more about that, you should check out this guy's paper in this book. You can also check out my Hell playlist, in which I go over these in detail. You might be thinking those are contradictory ideas, and Jesus teaches all of those? Yeah. Contrary to traditional conservative evangelical teaching, the Bible is not clear on hell. Jesus teaches conflicting things. Paul never talks about it. Other biblical authors seem to reference Jesus, but in conflicting ways. And the Christian Old Testament teaches Sheol. I would argue that all of this data is very important for understanding the concept of hell. Yet it's not something that is really taught or talked about in church. And actually, I've been making videos about this for a while now and have yet to see a conservative, traditional evangelical response to this. This being that hell is created by humans outside of the Bible and then is very confusingly taught within the Bible. But what do you think?
No notes.